Okay, so for those of you who are just adding the course, I wanted to post this video to give you a basic approach of how, or a basic idea of how I approach the course and how it's organized. So of course you'd go into my course, or Political Science 103 course, to see what's going on. And it should take you right to this page. This should be the home page. If it's not there, just come down to modules and you're going to see the same thing. So for week one, now the way you want to look at this, with week one, whatever week we're on, when we meet that Wednesday, this is what you want done. So whatever the assignment is for that week, you want it done by the time we meet. So here is, week one's really not a typical week. So let me go on to week two to show you what a typical week is. So in a typical week, you'll have a GRA, which is a guided reading assignment. It's worth about 25% of the grade. So you'd click on the GRA right there. And then you would go to, well, I can only go to preview since I'm not a student. And then you'd go to it and you would read, as you read chapter 2, you would complete these questions. So you can see here that there are 20 questions, and then you'd submit the quiz when you're done, and it'd save it in the grade book. Now, you can take this quiz as many times as you'd like, but know that it's the last quiz that you take that counts. So if you get a 15, you want to retake it again and get a better score. 15 out of 20, not too great. So you retake it again and get a better score. You get 17. You think, oh, I'm going to take it one more time. Well, that time you get 14. If that's the last time you take that quiz, it will be a 14 in the grade book. So be aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to go back. All right, so that's one assignment for week 2 that you need to have done the Wednesday we meet, in this case, September 2nd. The other assignment for that day is a discussion board, DB discussion board. Discussion boards are about 15% of the class. You'd click on, again, that line, and it would take you to the question. And what you're going to be doing in this discussion board, it instructs you to watch this video and this video that all have to do with the Constitutional Convention. And then you're gonna write about this question right here. With the advantage of hindsight, it is easy to presume the outcome of the Constitutional Convention was a foregone conclusion. Given what you've seen in the video, discuss the conflicting interests that existed between the large and small states and how those interests worked against a resolution to form a new government at the Constitutional Convention. So that's what you'd write about it. So you'd just hit reply, and you'd write your answer right in there. And you'd put post reply, and then I'll be able to read it and give you a score based on that. Now, the more effort you give me on this, the better you'll do. Some students ask, do I give extra credit? And the answer is yes and no. I don't give extra credit from the perspective you're doing lousy in the class, you haven't done the assignments, and so you want me to give you some assignments so you can make all that stuff up. No. The way I give extra credit is if you do an excellent job in here, I'll give you more than 15 out of the 20 points, depending on how excellent of a job you do. I've given up to 20. So if you want extra credit, do a really good job on these. I don't expect a dissertation. I want you to simply give it an honest answer with support from what you've been asked to watch or read. In other discussion boards, you'll be asked to read something. So those discussions boards vary by what is happening that week, what topic we're discussing. So for week 2, then, you'd want to do the guided reading assignment. You'd want to do the discussion board, and you'd want to watch these lectures on which are really the lectures that you would get if we were a traditional instruction class. These are the lectures that you'll watch to understand what is going on with the Constitution, what I think is important given the chapter. Now, you should know that when I test you on the midterm test, there's 3 midterm tests and a final, I will test you based on my lectures, not based on the book. The book is there to support you and giving you a basic initial understanding. But what I test on is what I talk about in the lecture. So to start this video, you have just would, of course, click the arrow, and it would go to the video, or click the link, and it would go to the video. My computer's acting a little slow right now, so I'm just gonna I'm not gonna wait for it. So this file right here is something that you should print out before you watch the lectures. That's SN, stands for Student Notes Constitution Doc. It is a synopsis of what it says on here. So I suggest printing this out, watching the lecture videos, taking notes on this document as you watch the lecture videos. That will help you to remember and understand what's going on. You can see from week 3, same kind of idea. There's a guided reading assignment. There is a discussion board on ideology, which is a little different than a typical discussion board. This document refers to that, so I'll talk about that next week. There's a discussion board on the ant and the grasshopper. So this isn't a typical week where there's 2 discussion boards. And on this one, you don't actually have to write anything. You're just going to take this ideology survey. And then you have the student notes on federalism, and then you'll have the lectures on federalism. So that's how the classroom is set up. So if you're just adding the class after we've met the first night, so you should take this attendance quiz, and I'll give you the answers. The book I've written is called The Manuscript. My middle name is Daniel. So in the attendance quizzes, I'm just going to say a few things to you that you won't get from the lectures, just to keep you honest about attending class. And that's I've got to take roll. That's the way I'm going to take roll, right there with an attendance quiz. So for this first week, the answers are: The Manuscript is a book I've written, and my middle name is Daniel. So you'll need to go back and you'll need to watch these lecture videos. Now I put, in addition to putting the lecture videos on this page right here, I've also given you a direct, I've also downloaded them directly into the course, just to make sure there's no issues the first week. So this and these 4 things are the same. And then, so you'll need to do this and this week, and you'll also need to have this done before we come to class next Wednesday. I hope this has been helpful. So for those of you who are just adding the class, we'll take some time for you next week, kind of after I recap some important portions of the lecture. Take some time with you and make sure you're all up to speed. Hope this is helpful. Thanks.